The CEO that I was working with had just traveled back from a meeting, and the actions of the group that he was working with had him fuming. And after describing the situation, he reflected, it just doesn't make any sense because it's all about power and control. And that rather wraps it up very nicely, doesn't it? One of the reasons why we hate work often is because it is all about power and control, and many times that is senseless. So, a few thoughts about power and control, what's bad, and what can be quite good. When power and control are not good. Obviously, when those two things are used to achieve results that are not good for humankind, are not good for the team. In other words, Lord Voldemort or Snidey Whiplash, evil. And not to make light of that, because I think we all recognize that power and control often are not sources of good actions. When it gets particularly concerning is when power and control are used together, just feeding upon one another for the sole purpose of exerting power and maintaining control. And there is no sense beyond that. Conversely, power and control can create great things. Let's think of all the control that goes into a great stage production, be it opera or Broadway. Think of all the control that's exhibited by Olympic athletes. And often those controls are developed by really positive coaching. Let's look at the alternatives. Let's try and do it several different ways. Now, we found the way that works. Let's do that again. That's positive control. And there is a reciprocity in that, a give and a take. There is the coaching and direction and the willingness to do it that way by the person on the receiving end of that coaching. Control, then, truly is a team sport. Likewise, power. When power is just generated from the top of the hierarchy and fed on down, that's when it's not satisfying. That's when it's not engaging. But when power is generated internally on behalf of members of the team, wow, that's pretty unbeatable. In fact, I'm going to attach a video at the end of this that talks about that phenomena. Power, then, as opposed to being exercised by one or two individuals, is exercised by the entire team and moves us forward. Think about this. How is power utilized in your workplace? How is control utilized? Is it something that is driven from the very top and often, as the CEO said, doesn't make any sense, has no logic, there is no why, but instead just exists for the purpose of power and control? Or is it something that the whole team participates in to deliver a superior service or product, which in turn practically guarantees job satisfaction and greater engagement? Hopefully it's the latter. If you like this, hit that like button, please share this, and please subscribe. I offer individual coaching on, workplace satisfaction, career growth, leadership development, as well as consulting on strategy development, cultural change, and team performance. If you're interested, my contact information is in the description. Thank you.